This is Pastor Davis' Daily Bread Guide message. Today's chapter is Job 4 and can be titled is The Limitation of the Subjective Spiritual Experience and the Necessity to have Empathy Ability. The chapter 4 can be divided into 3, verse 1 to 6, the rebuke of Eliphaz, verse 7 to 11, interpretation about the sufferings, verse 12 to 22, limitation of the subjective spiritual experience of Eliphaz. In the previous chapter, Job was totally depressed and in despair, and he cursed his birth. And Eliphaz, the Temanite, came to Job and he said, "If someone ventures a word with you, will you be impatient? But who can keep from speaking?" He knew that Job is in despair and he has even no intention or even any energy to have conversation. But even with such knowing, Eliphaz still say, "Who can keep from speaking?" And from verse 3 to 4, he says, "Think how you have instructed many, how you have strengthened the feeble hand. Your words have supported those who stumbled. You have strengthened faltering knees." So he mentioned about how Job was, how Job behaved, and he instructed him to come back to the Job in the past. But he didn't even, Eliphaz didn't care about the current, all the sufferings and trials Job was having. He was just giving such advice in his head, not from his heart. So everything Eliphaz said was true, but he didn't say it out of his heart. He just said it because he was arrogant and he didn't care about all the pains and all the despair of Job. And from verse 7 to 11, as we read those verses, Eliphaz interpreted that everything is resulting from the sins of Job, and the result of the sin is the Job's situation currently. So even in this the time of all the despair that Job was having, Eliphaz was even rebuking Job and making his conclusion that all the sufferings that you are having is because of your fault. So we cannot see any kindness, any love in what Eliphaz was telling to Job. And from verse 12 to 22, Eliphaz is telling Job about what he spiritually experienced. Verse 12 says, "A word was secretly brought to me, my ears caught a whisper of it." And as we read through to the last verse of the chapter, this is the spiritual experience, and which is actually good. However, Eliphaz shouldn't have generalized his subjective and individual spiritual experience and shouldn't have applied this for the interpretation of Job's situation. There is saying that the most dangerous person is that the one who read only one book, because his idea is all from just one limited book. So the fault that Eliphaz had from these verses is that he generalized his personal spiritual experience and applied it to the situation of others. At the same time, because of his spiritual experience, he became arrogant and proud, and he had such the feelings of spiritual prosperity, and also he was full of self-righteousness, which is wrong. The most healthy and most concrete and accurate way of knowing the will of God is based on the Word of God. Definitely spiritual things are good, and this is one of the talents, one of the gifts given by God, but everyone has their own different gifts, like evangelism, like serving others and singing. But not only the prophesying is the superior gift of God. There is no superiority or the inferiority. All the spiritual experiences and all the spiritual voices should be confirmed based on the Word of God. We have to be very careful about the spiritual experiences which are not based on the Bible. From verse 18, Eliphaz was telling about the imperfection of human beings. Like verse 19 says, how much more those who live in houses of clay, whose foundations are in the dust, who are crushed more readily than a moth. And 20, between dawn and dusk they are broken to pieces, unnoticed they perish forever. Yeah, what Eliphaz said is right, and this is not wrong. However, it's not true to apply his individual experience to others and to generalize it. And above all, there is no kindness, there is no care, there is no love in his saying. This is very cold and even very arrogant and proud. So Eliphaz shouldn't have advised Job with his spiritual superiority, but he should have first empathize with Job, and should have cried with the Job together. So I bless you to be kind, and I bless you to be good at communicating and also having such ability to empathize with others. God bless you.